Hello, I'm Attorney Tiara, founder of Forever Legal. This presentation was recorded as part of the Forever Legal 2026 Internship Academy, a professional internship program for incoming law students. The following speaker is sharing professional insight and educational information with our cohort. Any views expressed are those of the individual speaker and do not represent their employers or affiliated organizations. References to companies, organizations, or brands are used for educational and illustrative purposes only.
In the legal setting, sometimes they'll have you interview all day long. So you'll have 5, 6 slots with one law firm, partners and associates. Bam, 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 one after the other. You feel like you just slapped around, okay? So you really need to get a good heightened feeling of emotion that you can do it, right? So think about your song. I'm gonna go first, okay, while y'all are thinking. My song, I feel like I have a couple and they're kind of current. My song will be T.I. Let Them Know. I really like, oh my God, Big X the Plug. He's a rapper down here in Texas, and he, the biggest, the largest. I like that because it makes me feel like, okay, I can do this. I'm powerful. Matthew Williams, a native of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Matthew Williams brings over 13 years of dedicated experience as a vocational rehabilitation counselor committed to empowering individuals to achieve independence, meaningful employment, and improved quality of life. With a strong foundation in advocacy and service, Matthew has built a distinguished career working with both the state of Louisiana and the state of Texas, as well as the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, supporting diverse populations and navigating complex vocational and rehabilitation systems. His commitment to excellence, innovation, and client-centered care has earned him formal recognition throughout his career for the outstanding quality of his work and measurable impact on communities he serves. Matthew earned a Bachelor of Science in Rehabilitation and Disability Studies and a Master of Science in Rehabilitation Counseling from Southern University. His academic training laid the groundwork for a career centered on equity, access, and culturally responsive rehabilitation practices. Specializing in the rehabilitation of ethnic minority populations, Matthew is passionate about addressing disparities in employment, okay, clock it, healthcare access, and disability services. His approach integrates vocational guidance, case management, and holistic wellness strategies to ensure comprehensive client support. As a certified rehabilitation counselor, a CRC, and a health and wellness coach, Matthew blends clinical expertise with whole person care, emphasizing not only career placement, but also physical, emotional, and social well-being. This integrated perspective allows him to effectively support veterans, individuals with disabilities, and underserved communities in achieving sustainable, long-term success. Grounded in compassion, cultural competence, and professional excellence, Matthew continues to make a meaningful impact in the field of rehabilitation counseling, bringing a wealth of knowledge, real-world experience, and a passion for service that continues to shape the future of vocational rehabilitation. Nishi, you did extremely well there. From the onset, Nishi's like, I read the whole article from Voyage? She probably know better than me. Houston Voyage magazine, telling me everything that I said that I even forgot I said. And so I think that shows, like you said, it very shows interest. It shows like, hey, I really looked and I'm really interested. And I thought that was like, that made her stand out. It made her stand out. Because typically I wanted more towards juniors, seniors, and going into law school. But she was on the younger end. But I told her in her interview, I was like, you're very wise to even know to do that. And she just really went into so many segments of the firm that she didn't have to. So congratulations on doing that. And that's what made you stand out, Nishi. Being early, let that sink in your spirit. Being early is being on time in the legal profession. Being on time. If you're logging on to a meeting a minute before or during that meeting. If you are coming into court, if the hearing says 9 o'clock and you're walking in at 9 o'clock, you are late. You are late, guys.
When given an answer, make sure it's something realistic. Sometimes people may kind of say something to make the story appear more than what it was, and sometimes that can be detected in interviewing. So don't need to really embellish. Be truthful when you're interviewing. So STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result.
You may not be able to be your most authentic self. Would I have walked in there with the hot pink suit? No, but you guys have to realize this is mine now, right? This is Forever Legal, so I can do that. I'm called HR? HR is me, right? But if you're going into certain places, he's telling you to research it, to see what they do. Do they have piercings? Do they have, how are they dressed, right? And if it's not something that you want to conform to, then don't conform to it, right? We're not telling you to do that, but we're saying if that's where you want to be, until you can get in there and situate yourself and shake the table, right? And make things different for people that come after you in order to even get in the door. Sometimes you have to play the part. You have to play the part, and that's just real.
In February of 2025, I'm going to give us numbers from February of 2025 and February of 2026. February of 2025, 159,000 jobs were added. And so that's across all industries, 159,000. In 2026, can anybody give an estimate or a guess of how many jobs were added? So a year later, how many jobs were added? And this is across all industries. So whether that's going to be legal, hospitality, social service, how many jobs you think were added? So are we going up? Was it an increase?
I think an increase.
I think a decrease, like 50,000, 60,000.
With this administration, I'm agreeing with Brianna.
Yeah, I think it's low.
Decrease. It's like very steep low.
It was a decrease. In February of 2026, 63,000 jobs were added. It's a competitive market. Preparation builds confidence. Knowing that you have prepared, I presented my best self, can help ensure that you're going to get a callback. Just to get you prepared as you start interviewing for potential jobs and things of that nature. But these are skills that you can use while you're interviewing for different programs and colleges and things of that nature as well too. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Got to end the presentation with commending all of you ladies for being part of history. So March is Women's History Month. And so all of you were selected as this first group, this first cohort of this academy. And so I do feel that you are history makers in being part of setting the standard for what's to come. Forever Legal, I feel it has the potential to be a global brand. The people will know the name of Forever Legal. And so
you were chosen for a reason. There are people that are backlog. Don't want to call it backlog, who wanted to get into the program, and I just couldn't. Y'all already know I'm not sleeping now. Okay, I just couldn't take on more, even though I would want to. So when I say you were selected for a reason, you were selected for a reason, and I mean that, right? So stay true to knowing that you have something that's inside of you that ignited a spark, right? In me, for me to even say, yes, let's bring this person on, because as you all know, I'm very particular, right? And so I'm proud of each of you. So do not beat yourself up. I read some of these evaluations, you know what I mean? And it's hard to look at yourself, right? It's hard to kind of just, oh my goodness, I stumbled there, or look at my face there. You know, it's really just to improve. We're always striving for excellence. We're not there yet, right? But we're striving for that. What I felt that Brianna did extremely well is that she talked about her experience till till my ears fell off. Not till my ears fell off, but she really let me know, like, this is what I've been able to do, right? And I said, okay, I think she can only do a semester, but I know she's gonna come in this brand track and shake some things up and get me together. And so I appreciate you for really highlighting your work experience, because you have to do that, guys. And that's what I want you to practice when we do our evaluations. Really, really talking yourself up, because if you don't do it, who is going to do that? You have to do that. It is not being boastful. It is not being rude. You need to say, these are the things that I've been able to do in my career. These are the things I've been able to do in school, right? What if you figure out, which most of the time you do, you will have a schedule on who you're going to be interviewing with, right? Why don't you go in and see what cases they worked on, right? If it's a law firm, right? Why don't you go in and see, go on their LinkedIn and look at their previous employers. Like, oh, okay, I see you made that switch from this place to this. That's not going to be most likely on their website, or they were honored for this award or whatever. Go look at that award and say, oh, how did you tell me how, when it gets to your turn, right? And they say, do you have any questions for me? Isn't that a good way to show, like, hey, I know about you. I knew so much about these people. You would have thought I was studying for a test. Yes, you did. I know in 2015 you went here. I knew everything. I did. I had a whole little booklet that I studied. I took it very, very, very seriously, right? So not just like what you can find on the website, right? Like, if you really want that job, especially in this market, especially when everybody else is smart, you have to go the extra mile, right?